this is not your life. You're not driven by chasing a shiny object, or not driven by $1 billion company, or not driven by like the money and the status of the CEO. And you probably want to leave a legacy of a like good life, being a happy person, do something for the community. It doesn't really have to be like a Steve Jobs. They didn't talk about motivational stuff or anything. They was like being an engineer, and they didn't actually show the how to be happy. Even though we watched a documentary over his life, you find out most of the time he was unhappy. One of the,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the movie called Jobs. So yeah, I saw him like he frustrated all the time, even though he made
Yeah.
money and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
end of
Yeah.
just before he passed away, he had a cancer. That time he realized I didn't give my time to my family, myself. All the time I was just
Yeah.
building and building it, and he had like unsatisfied life. So you can see so many of them athletes, so many actor, actress, so many people like a CEO, founders of the companies, billionaires, millionaires. They couldn't figure out themselves what they want. It's just competing with each other's, like the social status, money, fame. I need to get a Lamborghini. Why I need a Lamborghini? Why I need a Ferrari? You need to ask them kind of
Yeah.
questions. Like I
Yeah.
don't need it. As long as I can get to A to B with a comfortable
Yeah.
way, like
Yeah.
I need AC, I need a heating on my car, and like automatic car. That's my preference. It doesn't mean like the car is 2005 or 2021 plate. It doesn't really matter, and how much the car worth. But it all comes down to like a need to show off. And even though you realize them kind of cars, they parked it for weekends. So on a weekend, Sunday or Saturday, they're taking it out. But most of the days, no one really cares about it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that kind of things like what I think about it in terms of like your questions. So we really need to step back and finding out, define ourselves. Are we actually doing it for others, or are we doing it for ourselves? What makes us happy? Like, and it's not gonna be like a one day answer. It's gonna take some time. Like you mentioned, like 5 years back, you're still figuring out yourself. Even though right now you're still figuring out yourself.
Oh
And
yeah.
even though
Oh
myself, I'm
yeah.
27 years old. When I was 18, 19, I thought I'll figure out myself, but still I'm figuring out. Like, who am I?
You
What
will
I want to
be, and
call?
you will
Yeah,
be,
yeah,
absolutely. And I think that again, you know, I really love that you talked about those really famous leaders, if you will, for lack of a better term, but people that they're the world renowned leaders
yeah,
in certain fields. The amount of sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? And and
yeah.
you know, mine's like, ah, man, I don't know. I've been in positions where the accountability kept getting higher, and you know, I just felt like, ah, man, it just, you know, I've had jobs where I've worked 60, 70 hours a week. I've done that. I've had those salary jobs, and I was like, wow, is this really it? And then, you know, because I'm always, and again, it's not about, for me, it's not just always about happiness as much as it is about peace
Mm,
and
definitely.
simplicity and uncomplication. You know, we're not always going to be happy. I don't think happiness is a permanent state. I think there are moments of happiness and moments of sadness. My Dharma teacher mentioned like life has 10,000 sorrows and 10,000 joys. And
Yeah,
everybody just wants the joy. That's all they want. Right.
it's
And
never
when
gonna
sorrow
happen. Yeah,
comes, it's as if they're doing everything they can to stop that. But back on the idea of people saying they want to redefine themselves. I think that refine is it's a better way to describe that. You cannot strip, nor should you strip
yeah,
away everything that makes you who you are. You know, it's not about evaluating, this is a good part of me, this is a not so good part of me. You know, it's about what part of this do, you know, is helpful to me, what part is harmful to me or to other people. That's
yeah.
really the question. Those tweaks, sometimes it's little tweaks, it's just a little refinement. I know it sounds way off topic, but I cook. I don't know if anyone else out there cooks.
I
I
cook.
mean, if
I'm chef. I worked in a restaurant for 8 years, So
Oh, I
yeah.
love it. Okay, so I'm constantly trying to refine, and I have a small kitchen and nothing fancy, but I was constantly trying to refine the layout and where things were, and so that the
Yeah.
functionality flows. And there was a breach. There was a breach in the ability to, reach certain jars and things in this cupboard. And this happened twice. I promise you it happened twice. And just this past weekend, I said, I got to fix this. But I would reach in to try to grab something, and then it would pull the jar and crash down to the counter,
Yeah.
glass, and one was tomato sauce, which then splashed all over the cupboards, all over me on the floor with pieces of glass. And it was a half an hour to clean up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it happened again. It was a smaller jar. And I was like, you have got to move you got to move your cupboards around. You know what I mean? Like what's in the
Organize it.
cupboards.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't redefine the cupboards. I simply refined it. I just pulled everything out. And then I thought about where the oils are, your cooking oil, where your seasoning is. I was like, I'm going to take it only took a couple hours. I'm going to take everything out of the cupboards. I'm going to clean the cupboards. I'm going to organize, and I'm going to get this right. Why am I not doing this? Why do I keep knocking this tomato? Why am I going to keep knocking a jar? What is it going to be, a jar a month? And after cleaning all that glass and tomato sauce up for 30 minutes, I was like, yo, you have got to fix this. So let's take that idea and think about something that keeps tripping you up in your life every day. The way that you're thinking, the way you're interacting. Make a little small tweak. Say hello to a stranger. Smile at a stranger. Give someone a compliment. Share something about yourself with someone, whether they want it or not. Like, those are little tweaks that I think can make you feel better, make you feel more connected to people. And especially at this time, man, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if coming out of this pandemic, you do not have a greater appreciation for quality interaction with people in real life versus this video. Like, I can't come over to where you're sitting there. You're very far away.